What is going on, everybody? Welcome to TrendSpider Live. My name is Mike, and today we are going live to analyze the MELI earnings as they drop in real time, along with many other names. I have an entire watch list built out of the names that are reporting today. Let me go ahead and pull them up real quick. So as you can see, MELI is right here at the top. Almost a $2,000 per share stock, which is kind of wild. What else we got? We got Realty Income, obviously a real estate ETF, or not ETF, real estate company. And it has been trending pretty nicely. As you can see here on the daily chart, we have the chats indicator lighting up green, which means the absolute strength is doing really nicely there in the real estate sector. We got TEM, Tempus AI. We got Zeta Global Holdings. And as you can see, as I click through a lot of these names, a lot of them are really not performing well. The only one that has pretty strong relative performance on the relative performance indicator here is NVTS, which is, of course, a semiconductor company. But if you guys are out there in the chat, let me know. Say what's up. Tell me what you guys are watching today on the markets. We also have GoDaddy reporting, which, as you can see here, is been greatly underperforming the market. I mean, look at this chart on the weekly. Pretty disgusting here. I mean, honestly, great trend to ride up, but ever since it started breaking and started this stage 4 decline, it's really just been a short, really. So you could have, played it to the upside and to the downside here on GoDaddy. But I think most people probably are interested in MELI earnings today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up our TrendSpider Sidekick AI and take a look at what Sidekick has to say about it. Load this up right over here. So as you can see, MELI is Latin America's largest e-commerce and fintech platform. So, and it's, operating online across 18 countries, which is pretty cool. But we got an EPS estimate of 11.57 and then a revenue estimate of $8.5 billion. And it seems that analysts are expecting lower earnings versus the prior quarter. Let's take a look at the revenue tab over here. We go to MELI. As you can see, the revenue growth has been pretty phenomenal on MELI. Yeah, they've been growing pretty steadily over time here, roughly about 40% per quarter, year over year. And EPS is kind of wild, kind of all over the place, but generally seems to be growing. So we'll see. I mean, we're expected to have a pretty solid revenue number here at 8.5 billion. Our last quarter was 7.4 billion. So that potentially adding a whole another $1 billion in revenue this quarter from MELI, which is pretty wild. But if you guys are out there, let me know what you guys are watching today for earnings. If it's not MELI, let me know what other names that you guys want me to take a look at. But here's some recent news for MELI as we come into the end of the market today. We got some bullish analyst activity with JP Morgan upgrading to overweight with a $2,800 price target. That's pretty wild. Let's actually go ahead and go back to the chart over here. And I'm going to plot on my analyst estimate history indicator. It's going to show us what the analysts are predicting. Wow. As you can see, the lowest price target for MELI is actually at $2,600 and the highest is at $2,950. So I think this company needs to do a split at some point. Doesn't need to, but I mean, probably attract a lot more retail investors if they didn't have a stock price that was nearly $2,000. That's pretty interesting. Let's go back over here to Sidekick and see what else is going on. Stock is down from highs. Multiple articles noting analysts revised forecasts lower ahead of earnings. That's interesting. So there's a kind of a mix of analyst activity here between bullish and bearishness. Let's see. And Sidekick's overall take is to hold or wait. If you're not in, wait for the report. Yeah, Sidekick seems to say that a lot, which honestly is fair. I personally wouldn't recommend going into a stock to trade it just solely for earnings. What is going on, SJD News? How are you doing today? Good to see you. Let's see what else we got here. Wow. You see Realty Income turn off this chats indicator real quick so you can see the candles a little bit easier. But O is actually trading pretty far above its average analyst rating using the analyst estimates indicator right here. As you can see, the top line prediction from analysts is at 67 for the stock, and we're trading at 66.50. So analysts are not predicting a ton of upside here on O. If we can open the overall real estate sector, let's do XLRE. Also has been performing pretty well. You know, these are pretty big dividend payers. But honestly, still has a lot of room to go until it goes back to all-time high. Let's open up our stock market map and see what sectors are leading over the last week or so. So as you can see, over the last 7 days, silver is up 17%. Let's take a look at the metals real quick. SLV. They did have a nice pop the last few days. Today, metals came down a little bit, but then got bought up. I know on GLD here, it, of course, made this gap yesterday, and then we filled it right away today. Almost filled it. Very, very close. I would say that's essentially a gap fill, and already bought up to yesterday's open already, which is an interesting move there on GLD. And then, so yeah, gold, silver, and then semiconductors still leading the overall charge here. If you look at the SMH ETF, you can see, I think we hit all-time highs today. Previous all-time high was 420.6. Today we hit 421.67. So, you know, semiconductors continuing to push to new all-time highs. We do have a few semiconductor names today. Well, we have Tempus AI, and then NVTS is a semiconductor name as well. So definitely interesting to check those out. What other sectors? And then XLI has been doing pretty good still as well, which is the industrials ETF. But yeah, if you guys are out there, let me know down in the chat. Tell me what you guys are watching today. Tell me if you guys want me to cover anything while we're here, because the market does close in 8 minutes. And so up to then, we can analyze anything that you guys want before these earnings come out. What else do we got here? ABCL. This one's interesting. This one's up actually 6% on the day. I think, yeah, this last quarter, the last couple quarters for ABCL was pretty insane. As you can see here, quarter 2 2025, their revenue skyrocketed, doubled from the prior quarter 2 from 2024, from 7 million to 17 million. It's over a double, 133% and 159% surprise. In the last quarter, back down to 8.96 million, but still a 38% increase. So pretty wild name right here. Not profitable, negative EPS, but yeah, that revenue is interesting. Definitely one. Maybe we can ask Sidekick about that one, because that one is pretty interesting if you ask me. Let's go get my prompt over here, and we'll take a look at what is going on with ABCL. And if you guys didn't know, Sidekick is TrendSpider's built-in AI agent. It has access to all of the stock market's data, including earnings data, news data, unusual options, and everything we have here on the platform. It can read your charts. It can read your indicators. It's an absolutely amazing tool. And honestly, the best part about it is that it does not have access to the internet, which means it won't be pulling, you know, random fake numbers. But let's see what it says here about ABCL. It's a biotech company focused on discovering and developing antibody-based medicines. So yeah, it's a you know, biotech company. Very, very inherently risky industry to invest in. Got to be very knowledgeable when you're trading biotech, and even then, can still easily get clapped on biotech names. But let's see. EPS estimate came in at negative 0.18. Revenue estimate is 6.7 million. Let's take a look here. Again, their last revenue was at 8.96. And we're checking out quarter 4. But so, you know, 6 million or so revenue is still an increase over the last Q4 of 2024. So it's projected to grow year over year still. Minimal catalysts. I mean, this company probably just isn't covered very much, but we'll see what happens when they go ahead and report earnings today. It seems analysts are pretty much all aligned here at around the $4 mark. There's probably not many analyst ratings at all for this. So whoever is covering it is saying it's worth about $4, which is, about 80 cents higher than what it's currently trading at. Let's see what else we got over here. Somebody asked about Amazon in the chat. We can take a look at Amazon. What about Amazon are you curious about? Because when did they report earnings? They reported earnings just about 3 weeks ago, but let's take a look here on the daily. Yeah, if you guys can't recall, when Amazon reported earnings, they had 2 multiple gap downs right there, which is quite interesting. Let me go up to this other account over here and pull up Amazon. Hide this for a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use TrendSpider Sidekick AI to actually read my Amazon chart right here. I'm going to delete this line because it's not really worth anything. I'm going to say, plot the key news events on my open Amazon chart. What caused the gaps and what is driving the price? So what Sidekick is going to do, it's going to take a screenshot of my chart, read it, and then it's going to go through all the news data for Amazon and then plot it right on my chart. And I think this is one of the most awesome use cases for Sidekick personally, because look at that. So here you get an earnings beat, earnings miss, of course, obviously gap down. So obviously this first gap was the earnings miss. And then I guess there was just there had to been something right there. Let's take a look in here. Oh, I think it was the CapEx warning. That might have been during their earnings as well. They announced plans to spend $200 billion on AI infrastructure in 2026. That has been a huge catalyst for stocks selling off. The market just really doesn't make a lot of sense right now, if you ask me. I mean, we got software selling off like it's literally the dot-com bubble. If you look at the IGV, taking a massive, massive hit. And it's because of AI news. And then over here, we got Amazon tanking that it's spending money on AI. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Is AI good or is it bad? The market has no idea. And it's really sending investors for a spin. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the chat what you guys think of all of this recent AI news. I mean, just yesterday we had IBM tanking like 12% on just like a Claude Anthropic news drop or a new feature drop, sending IBM down. And then, before that, they came for cybersecurity with massive, massive drops here on stuff like CrowdStrike, all literally because of Claude. I mean, Claude Anthropic is honestly killing it. I think Google has like 10% or less stake in Anthropic. So, they've actually been somewhat holding up pretty nicely over here, at least compared to, some of its other competitors like, Microsoft or Apple's actually hanging there pretty well because they don't really have any AI exposure at all. They're just using Google's AI. Then we have the memory names, which have been somewhat coming down today. Nothing too bad. I actually had a watch list of all the memory names today. SNDK came down the hardest at 4%. We got Western Digital at 3.5%. Nope. Have not covered really much of, well, I mean, the earnings aren't even out yet. The market closes in 2 minutes, and once they do, we'll cover Tempus. But I can go ahead and can cover Tempus right now. Since you mentioned it, we can do a pre-earnings analysis of Tempus. Let's first of all go into the chart, TEM, and then what I'm going to do is plot or send in this prompt, TEM. And we'll see what is going on with Tempus AI. AAA, do you have a position in Tempus? Is that why you're curious? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you guys are all here for Tempus, we can definitely take a gander here. The market is about to close any second now. It's, I think, closing right now. Yeah, the bell just rang. And here's Tempus on the day. We'll get up the daily charts. Been pretty beat up lately, not going to lie. If you look at the daily, I mean, really hasn't gone much of anywhere, to be honest. If we pull up the Nancy Pelosi trade tracker, this is one that Nancy Pelosi has bought a couple of times. If you can't recall, she bought back in January at the literal bottom here in January. And then she also bought again in January, just about a month ago. So let's see what Psychic has to say about TEM. It's given a hold. Recent news, a bunch of people started initiating coverage on it. Pretty bullish, outperform rating. Looking pretty good overall. EPS estimate is expected to come in at negative 0.14%. And again, Tempus is an AI-powered precision medicine company. So let's see. Let's real quick go and take a look at the price action. Oh, Tempus just tanked in the after-hours session. I'm going to get on my after-hours change percent indicator handy over here. It's currently down around 4%, but that could reverse. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. If you guys are just joining in, we're taking a look at Tempus right now. It is tanking. It's down 5%. Let me go ahead and take a look at the numbers, if there are any numbers here. Let me first off delete this watch list. Can delete that, and let's get this news widget reloaded over here. Not seeing the numbers directly in here. MELI does not release until 15 minutes after the bell. Oh, I don't know. MELI is MELI's up 3% though, and I don't think their numbers come out until 15 minutes after the bell though. So we'll keep an eye on both of them. Let me go ahead and open up my multi-symbol view. We are using the TrendSpider platform, by the way, today, you guys, if you did not know. And TrendSpider actually allows you to use the most layouts that I have ever seen on a single screen. I'm only using 4 just so you guys can see it easily, but you can use literally like 40 plus charts on this thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we're seeing MELI over here at the right. It is up 4%, and on the left we see TEM down 4%. Let me pull up the other names. We got Zeta. Zeta's a pretty good name as well that people talk about a lot. And then let's put up realty income, see how real estate is going to react to these earnings. So far, we got TEM at the top left again, MELI at the top right. MELI is killing it. It's up 6% right now, and it is continuing higher, and TEM is down 4%, but it seems to be wanting to retrace a little bit here. Someone mentioned Axon. Let's take a look at Axon. Axon is up about 2%, came down a little bit. While you guys are all here, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe, because we're going to be going live tomorrow for NVIDIA earnings. You absolutely do not want to miss that. And holy moly, MELI is flying off my chart. So congratulations if you are holding MELI. It is absolutely flying right now on this earnings drop. We'll take a look at the numbers in just a second once we see all of the moves here. But wow, some pretty nice movements today. TEM came down. It's down about 3%, but it is retracing a little bit to the upside. Let me figure out what else is worth looking at. We got HBQ. We got NVTS. Let's take a look at NVTS. That is a semiconductor name. Has not moved at all just yet. FSLR is reporting today. Hasn't really moved at all yet. What else are you guys watching? Kava is reporting today. Kava is up, about 1%. MELI starting to come down. Still up 6% though. Wow, some crazy, crazy movement going on today. Thank you guys all for joining. Again, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss tomorrow's NVIDIA stream with Tushar Shandi. It's going to be, honestly, one of the biggest events for the market in a long time tomorrow. It's NVIDIA earnings. It could shape what the market sentiment is going to be like for the near-term future. W Day. Let's take a look at that. W Day down 6% on the earnings announcement. MELI coming back down just under 2,000. MELI did break over 2,000. It's currently trading literally at 2,000 right now. Oh my, we got Zeta flying, and it came right back down. And if you guys have not already, absolutely, guys, make sure you sign up for our free market update. If you guys want a recap of everything that went on in the market this week, I'm dropping the link in the description down below and in the chat. All you have to do is sign up with your email, and it's completely free. We send you guys a free market update every single Sunday. So just use the link in the chat to go ahead and do that if you guys want some free trade ideas and a market update. Oh, wow. There's a lot going on right now. Let me know what else you guys are seeing out there in the chat. But there is a lot of movement happening right now. MELI gave back a lot of its gains. It's still up 3%. And now we're getting TEM coming back up. TEM now flat on the day. It was down, about like 4 or 5% or so at the bottom. Let's take a look at, WDAY's not looking good. Let's take a look at TMDX. TMDX is flying. It's only up 1%, but it looks good. HBQ, pretty flat. Lucid is reporting today as well. Lucid down 8%. So let me go ahead and actually start analyzing some of these numbers for us. Which ones do you guys want to see? Well, let's see what's even out first of all here. Let's reload TEM's news feed. So we got Tempus AI. A lot of people are interested in Tempus. So let's go ahead and use our Sidekick AI to analyze it for us. Tempus AI, let's take a look at what is going on here. Yeah, SJD News, he said NVIDIA has been disappointing in the past earnings, even though it's been beating earnings. Yes, it has been beating, but I think the one thing about NVIDIA, let's see if NVIDIA is moving on any of these. It is not. One thing about NVIDIA is that the rate of change of their revenue growth is declining. Last quarter, they reported a 62% year-over-year change versus, back in like Q2 of 2025, about a year ago, they were reporting like 122%, 262%, 93%. So they're not growing as fast, which is, I think, what the market is reacting to there. By the way, let's take a look at now Tempus's actual numbers here. So you can see the Q5 EPS came in pretty good. Let's double check this with our news feed. So yeah, Tempus reported -4 cents per share, which beat estimate, and then sales at 367. So double beat. Sales came at 367 million, beating the $362 million estimate. As you can see clearly right here on this beautiful chart that Sidekick AI made for us. So these are the Tempus earnings moves right here. Let me zoom in just a little bit for you guys here. So again, -4 cents per share versus -14 cents estimated. And then prior last year, it came in at -18 cents EPS, and slight beat here on revenue. Pretty solid beat, almost 100% greater than Q4 of 2024, which is really nice. Looks like for 2026 revenue, they slightly beat. So they're expecting a little bit better revenue than was predicted by the analysts. Q1, we see -22 EPS and 346 million in revenue, which is compared to what they just reported. They reported 367. They're expecting 346 in Q1, which is lower. So that is not the greatest of signs. Still way above last Q1, though. They were awarded a $35 million contract on February 11th. Yeah, Sidekick is actually given a buy rating. None of this is financial advice. Of course, this is just AI. But yeah, it's given a buy rating. because of the 71% EPS beats combined with 83% revenue growth. I guess they're looking at year over year, though. Demonstrates exceptional execution. So the 2026 year guidance beats and has strong analyst support. It is still unprofitable, but it's compelling and enough for it to get a buy rating from good old Sidekick. So that is Tempus AI, you guys. Let me know down in the chat what you guys were expecting, if you guys are holding any Tempus AI. I know some of you guys out there were holding some, but that was Tempus. Let's take a look at MELI now. MELI is currently, and by the way, Tempus, what was the price action looking like? Pretty much flat. It's down 1%. Take a look at MELI. MELI is pretty flat as well. Only up 1.5% on the day, on the after hours session. So let me go ahead and analyze MELI earnings. Using Sidekick. I mean, Sidekick makes analyzing all this stuff incredibly easy, you guys. Highly, highly recommend you guys check out TrendSpider's Sidekick, because all I have to do is send in this nice little prompt, and it's going to give me an entire breakdown of everything that just happened in earnings. So let's take a look at what is going on here at MELI in just a second. Have to start a new prompt here. Since it came out so recently, it's not actually seeing the data quite yet. Yeah, it's actually not in our news feed even yet. So I'll have to wait to analyze the MELI earnings with Sidekick, which is fine. We'll get to it in just a second. We got plenty of other stocks. Let's take a look at what Zeta is doing. I was trading this one earlier personally, not recently, but I've traded a few times in the past. You can see a little trailing stops right there. Just remove those for now. But interesting chart. If you look, scroll to the monthly here. It is holding above this 1350 level, which is good. And it's trying to make some higher lows here on the monthly. But if we go take a look, you can see it is up, 0.53% in the after hours session. Is there any numbers yet? Here, the numbers literally just dropped. Looks like they reported quarter 4 sales beats, came in at 394 million, beating the $379 million estimate. Not seeing EPS quite yet, but if you guys are interested in seeing any other names, let me know down in the chat below. Also, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome. If it's your first TrendSpider live, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss any future ones. Again, I will be live tomorrow again with Tushar Shandi, analyzing the NVIDIA earnings report as they come out. It's going to be a massive, massive day tomorrow because of NVIDIA earnings. But yeah, Zeta seems to have done pretty good, but it's only up about 0.65% here. Let's go to our multi-symbol view. See if we got any big moves. Not seeing a crazy amount. MELI up a couple percent. Lucid is down. We can take a look at Lucid. Lucid is a pretty interesting name. LCID. Not seeing numbers in our news feed quite yet for Lucid. Let's take a look at what else we got. NVTS. Did this one have numbers come out? NVTS up 6.64%. And again, you guys, I don't know, I think not a lot of you guys were here when I was analyzing these before the market closed. But if you go back to NVTS on this screen over here, you can see this is the only one with a relative performance that was, outperforming. It's at 98, means it's outperforming 98% of the S&P 500 and has been chopping around. And interesting enough, if we go back to over here on the intraday chart, you can see that it is up 7%. So definitely always want to be looking out for that relative performance. But let's take a look at what is going on with NVTS since the earnings are out. NVTS, I am seeing Q4 adjusted EPS at -5 cents a share. Sales beat, and I guess they were in line on that -5 cent EPS drop. And then the sales beat by a decent amount, about I think it says 16%. Oh, that was for the EPS. Thank you, Darwin the Trader, for dropping that in the chat. If you guys are thinking or seeing anything that I am not, let me know down in the chat. But as you can see, EPS was pretty much exactly in line here. And then let's check out revenue. Wait a minute. $18 million in revenue. Can I type NVTS in here? This is interesting. I'm getting some conflicting numbers right now. It says 18 million, but then on the Benzinga news feed, I'm seeing 7 million. Let's take a look at the reports tab and figure this out. Wow. Honestly, NVTS, their revenue has been declining quite a bit. Every single quarter, it's just going down, down, down. Last quarter, I think that was this quarter, 7.3 million should be his report. Not sure where Sidekick got that. Let me reprompt Sidekick here. I think I might have accidentally pulled the wrong numbers because I'm seeing, I think, 7.3 million, which did beat by 5% or so. But again, that is like their worst revenue quarter we've seen in several years. 7 million only. Their prior quarter was 10 million. So not the greatest look there on NVTS by any means. Let's see. And someone did drop the Lucid numbers in the chats. Darwin. Let me see if they're back. Here they go. We got them in our news feed now. So we got to see Lucid came in at adjusted EPS at -3.08, missing the 2.64 estimate, and then sales at 522 million, beating 469 million. So EPS miss, sales beat. That sounds about right for an EV maker. Look at this revenue chart, you guys. Honestly, beautiful revenue chart. Look at this. Insane revenue growth. That was $522 million in revenue. That looks like their best quarter that they've really seen. So let's actually take a look at Lucid right now using Sidekick. What did you put in the chat? 3.08. Yep, that's exactly what I am seeing here in my newsfeed as well. Darwin, thank you for dropping. But Lucid down 3.83% on that nice revenue beat. Wow. Let's take a look at the, yeah. Lucid has been, that was a killer revenue quarter for Lucid. Yeah, Darwin, we actually have that Benzinga News Desk Pro built into the platform. So if you're on TrendSpider, you will get that for free. Well, you know, if you're a TrendSpider user, that is. And you can also use Sidekick to go ahead and analyze it like we're using right here. Since it's so quick after earnings, it is being a bit finicky right now, but we will get the numbers. But yeah, EPS miss on Lucid, and then one of the best revenue quarters they've had. I think that's probably the best revenue quarter they've ever had on Lucid, but still they're down 4%. See what else we got in here that is interesting. Someone did mention Axon earlier. Wow, Axon up 13%. Let's take a look at Axon. Let's see what's going on here. Axon EPS beat massive beat, 2.15 beating 1.6, and then sales also beat by about $41 billion. Very, very nice report here on Axon. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. It has came down quite a bit. Interesting looking chart here. Let's go to the monthly. Looks like it definitely had a change of trend to the downside for the past few months, but after this insane earnings report, that could easily change as the stock is up currently 14% in the after hours session. Here is the Lucid estimates right here, are the actual Lucid numbers. Here we go. It's using the news feed. Perfect. So you can see the revenue right here is right here, beating the estimated revenue by quite a bit, and then prior year smashing it. Let's hear the forward guidance. Sidekick does give it a hold. I'm trying to make sure this is, did they even provide forward guidance? No, let's go back to Lucid real quick. Yeah, I don't really see much forward guidance here on Lucid, but it's continuing to come down -6% in the after hours session. If you guys are just joining in and you guys want me to take a look at anything using our TrendSpider Sidekick AI or just the platform in general, do let me know down in the chats below. Also, be sure to like the video if you're on YouTube. Would really appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, Lucid not hanging in there super, super well. But Axon absolutely killing it. Let's see if we can get a good analysis of Axon here using Sidekick. It's a pretty basic prompt, you guys. It's just saying analyze the Axon earnings announcement today. And I give the date just so it knows. What was the reported EPS versus forecast and previous year same quarter? So we can see the year-over-year growth. And then I just tell it to give a hold, buy, or sell rating with an explanation for why. So we can get a full breakdown of all of these companies reporting earnings incredibly easily with AI over here. But again, let's go flip over back to Axon. That's what we're going to be taking a look at. It is absolutely killing it in the after hour session. Now at 15%, trading at $511, which means tomorrow it's going to have a nice gap up to about, about like right there. Which is honestly a little bit of overhead supply if you see from these pivot levels that it's reacted to several times. So we'll see how it holds up there. It is currently somewhat getting some reactions right now at the level. So Axon is a tech leader in global public safety. They develop integrated hardware and cloud software solutions for law enforcement. Yeah, I remember this one, including tasers, body cameras, drones, all that good stuff. So let's see here. Q4 2024. What is this? EPS, it looks like. Came in and beat by 34% for EPS. Revenue came in at 796, beating by 5.5% and 38% year over year. So, nice double beat here. Guidance came in pretty good as well. They're projecting, about 3.56 billion in revenue for all of 2026 versus 3.44. That was estimated by analysts, which is, roughly about a 3-4% beat. Let's see what other news we have here. It's giving Axon a buy, saying they crushed it on earnings, raised guidance. Apparently, it's saying 70% of users haven't upgraded to premium plans. And Taser 10 is seeing record adoption, and Draft One AI is the fastest selling product in company history. Wow. So it's pretty bullish here on Axon. Good old sidekick. The weekly chart trading about right there now. Beautiful, beautiful revenue growth chart, as you can see right over this way. I believe that is the one that was just reported, 796. Yeah, it is already in the reports tab right here. All this this earnings data. Crazy good EPS. 141% surprise to the upside, which is incredible. So yeah, very nice report there on Axon. Is there any other stocks that you guys are watching today for earnings that I have not covered yet? I can take a look at them. Again, we looked at Tempus not that long ago. Let's go back to the multi-symbol view here. Say Axon is definitely the clear winner out of all of these things I am seeing today. Get that down here in the bottom right chart. And MELI is just up about 3%. Was not able to hold above that $2,000 level. Zeta hasn't really moved at all. Tempus still down 3%. Let's take a look at what's happening now in our What's Happening Now tab. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything cool going on. Let's take a look here. You can see CEO buying their own stock. This is a really cool one that I like to use. Here's some big buys. We got PODD. Their CEO bought pretty big here just a few days ago. If you guys wanted to use, or if you guys wanted to see CEO buying their own stocks, it's incredibly easy if you have a TrendSpider account. If you don't, you can just go to TrendSpider.com and check it out. But all you have to do is open the What's Happening Now tab and click the CEO buying their own stock, and you can get a beautiful list here of all the CEOs that are currently buying their own stock. We had one just yesterday here on Life Sciences, TLSI. That is interesting. But we have tons of other stuff to show you guys what is happening now in this tab. It is actually very cool and useful. Got earnings in here. We got splits, recent splits, upcoming splits, government trading, analyst estimates, insider selling all that they had, CFO buying their own stock, any insiders buying stock. Let's see if we got any good insider trading going on as of late. You actually filter this out a lot as well. You can do dollar amount is, like greater than, I think you can type just 1M. No, you can't. So do greater than 1 million for those high conviction buys. TLSI over $1 million bought is the one that's currently open as the CEO or director, I guess, actually. WRB, that one's been trending up pretty nicely. PODD, we got Ford down here. Executive chair and chair bought over $1 million in Ford just this week. Ford is an interesting looking chart. It is coming up to some resistance here, but it's been trending pretty nicely on the weekly there. We got, Microsoft insiders have been buying. If you guys did not see, actually had a Pelosi sell right there, which is kind of funny. But yeah, over like $3 million worth of shares have been bought by Microsoft insiders on sometime during these bubbles right here that I put on my chart. Sono, this is an interesting one. Sonos had some insider buying. But yeah, I think that Microsoft and Ford ones are pretty good. HYMC has been absolutely ripping on these insider buys. You can also see the insider buys right on your chart. All you have to do on TrendSpider is go up to your indicators, type insider trades on chart, and apply and add it. And as you can see here, tons of really both insider buying and selling. I'm using TrendSpider. You can check out the tool. using the link I just put in the chat for you, Brick. It is called TrendSpider. You are on the TrendSpider YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe if you do enjoy seeing this tool being used live. Or if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. But check it out using that link right there, or just go to TrendSpider.com. But as you can see, HYMC, tons of insider buying there. And if you guys have any questions about anything going on in the markets right now, do let me know. I mean, I have this incredible platform. You can pretty much see anything that is going on very easily. So if you guys do not have a platform like this, now's your chance to figure some stuff out and to check out the platform yourself. Let's see what else we got here. We got some CNBC recommendations on here as well. Let's see what Kramer has been up to lately. All you have to do is filter it for analyst contains Kramer in the name. Kramer hasn't really said much actually for quite a while apparently, but he was bullish on now. Let's take a look at how that call has been so far. Let me hide this indicator real quick. So all these came in on November 6th, or I'm sorry, February 6th. He's bullish. I mean, honestly, that wasn't the worst time. I mean, stock hasn't moved at all since then, but HMY, he was not recommending there on February 6th. It is up since then. NVTS earnings, let me take a look again for you. I believe they already came out. Yeah, NVTS earnings did come out. I believe I did prompt it to sidekick at one point. Here is the NVTS earnings right here. Oh, wait. Let's go over right here. So the sales came in for NVTS at $7.29 million, beating the $6.95 million estimate. And then EPS came in line, and they actually provided some forward guidance that was very good. Quarter one sales, they're projecting about 8.25 million versus the 7.34 estimate. It's actually a really good report there, I would say, on NVTS. Well, 7.3 million. That was significantly lower, honestly, than their previous quarters. It did surprise analysts. So analysts knew they weren't going to have a great quarter, but at the same time, man, their revenue is not growing. It's going the exact opposite way. But the stock seems to be hanging in there okay. And again, they are actually, really just flat in the after-hour session, only up 0.5% as we speak. So that is NVTS for you. Let me know if you guys have any other stocks that you want me to take a look at while we're here on this amazing platform. Let's see. Covered MELI. Let's take a look at, let's take a look at, see what real estate has got going on. So we're seeing a sales beat, just barely on realty income. And then looks like they're seeing lower than expected FFO going forward for forward guidance. So it's not very good, but they really haven't moved at all in the after hours session. Let's see what Sidekick has to say about realty income, because this is a pretty good metric to use if you want to keep on top of the overall real estate market. As you can see, the stock itself has been honestly performing incredibly well over the last several weeks. And generally, the stock market tends to move before the actual real estate market. So it doesn't seem like real estate prices are coming down anytime soon, at least based on this ETF, unfortunately. I'll take a look at Hood. Hood, I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than Hood has broken some pretty critical support, honestly. They broke their recent, the $85, IPO high, swing high. It's actually plot anchored VWAP there. Yeah, honestly, would not be surprised to see Hood come all the way down to somewhere around 50 before basing. But they do have another level here around 65. So yeah, but honestly, Hood is in a downtrend. Let's take a look at the day. Did all right today. It's trying to hold in there, but yeah, it's not looking super ground. I mean, fundamentally, the company is pretty solid. They did miss their revenue estimate, as you can see, by 3% last quarter. EPS beat pretty nicely, though. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Price to sales on Hood is at like 14. So it's honestly trading at a premium, and the revenue growth slowing is not exactly what you want to see. And it's really because a lot of their revenue is tied to crypto trading, you guys. And if you see Bitcoin right now, has not been doing good. It is also breaking some key support. Honestly, pretty similar chart to Hood, which kind of makes sense if you understand that Hood is heavily reliant on crypto doing well. But we'll see. They do have the prediction markets. That's supposed to potentially make them a lot of money. They've made a few bucks on me on those prediction markets. So, but here is O, known as the monthly dividend company. That's trademark? Is that really? Oh, I didn't know that. O Realty is a real estate investment trust. Of course, they invest in diversified commercial real estate. Interesting. I thought it was only mostly residential. With over 15,000 properties across all 50 US states, the UK, and 6 European countries. As you can see here, they reported a 1.08 EPS, which greatly beats their 0.67. Is that right? I didn't think they beat by that much. Yeah, massive beats on EPS, at least compared to what the analysts were expecting. Reported slightly higher revenue, beating by 6%, which is pretty good for a company this, this established. Guidance missed, though. Yeah, their FFO guidance missed 3%, 3.6% below expectations. Potential headwinds, yeah. So Sidekick gives it a hold. I mean, I don't know what else you would be doing on O other than just holding it. So I think that's a good assessment. If you're trading O, I don't know what you're doing. You should probably trade something a little bit more volatile. But great, probably just long-term dividend hold still. I say that's not the worst looking quarter. Overall real estate sector has been doing pretty good lately as well. What else do we got? Let's take a look at our multi-symbol view over here and see if there's any other movements. Looks like a lot of the movements here have already played out. Axon, the clear winner today, AXON, currently up 15%, you guys. Really, really nice, actually. Well, let me know what you guys are seeing on the markets today. I can pull up anything else that you guys want me to take a look at. Just let me know down in the chats below right now, and I can take a look at it. Let's see. Can take a look at some scan results in the meantime. Let me flip around over here. NVTS, though, looking really good. But Just a quick little workflow that I like to show everybody. Okay, RKLB, someone requested an RKLB analysis. We can take a gander at that. Let's take a look. RKLB, they announced earnings on February 26th. Make sure you subscribe or follow us on X since you're on X, so you can watch the live as I break down those numbers in real time. But first of all, let's start with a top-down analysis. And you see, monthly trend is very nice. Go down to the weekly. It is making some higher lows. See one there, and then potentially one there. And let's take a look at the fundamentals. What actually I'm going to do, I'll send in a sidekick prompt to go ahead and analyze RKLB for us. So that can work for us in the background as our little AI trading agent while we take a look at the charts. Relative performance on RKLB is absolutely killing it. This is essentially saying that it's outperforming 98% of the S&P 500. Incredibly powerful tool that you have to be using if you are a trend follower or trying to find the most, the best performing names out there. As you can see, right when we snapped above this 90 level on relative performance, it started this nice uptrend. So if you use this indicator, it's a great indicator to see potentially when momentum and trends are starting, and it worked perfectly here on RKLB. Revenue growth is going insane up and to the right. Let's take a look at their EPS. Again, they're not profitable, but they're on the right track. They are heading towards profitability. Their last quarter was really good. Signaled actually the bottom there on their last quarter. They came in at -3 cents per share, which was a really big change and a really big surprise to analysts which is good. So RKLB, end-to-end space company providing launch services, Electron rocket plus developing neutron medium lift vehicles, spacecraft manufacturing, and space components, including solar panels, reaction wheels, and star trackers. They've completed 54 successful orbital missions and deployed over 200 spacecraft. Pretty sick numbers right there. But expected EPS is -9 cents per share, and expected revenue is 178 million, which is a pretty nice expectation there. Their last quarter for 2024 is 132 million. Revenue accelerating, of course, but again, like I said, still unprofitable. Sidekick has given it a hold rating, so not a buy, not a sell, just a hold. It's saying that the revenue beat is already likely priced in, given the strong momentum already, and it gives you a couple things to watch for that we'll be watching for in a couple days when they actually report earnings. Again, subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be live for Rocket Lab earnings in a couple of days when they come out. But you want to watch for neutron development updates, defense contract wins, and then, of course, path to profitability, a timeline on that. Because once they flip to profitable, that's when investors really get excited. But yeah, I mean, it's on a pretty good path from what I see. And it's a nice pullback here into this range. As you can see, the 73.97 pivot level marked on the charts. So yeah, I'd say watch out for 74 here on RKLB, especially as we pull up into their earnings. What else are you guys interested in seeing? Because I have probably the most powerful trading AI at my disposal right now, and it can analyze anything that you guys want. Let's take a look at some of these other names that have reported today. WDAY, outperforming practically 0% of the S&P 500, and as you can see, it is absolutely getting demolished in the after hours session right now. Currently down 7%. No problem, Mark. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We got ABCL, you guys, up. What is this? In the after hour session, up 16% on ABCL. EPS came in at -3 cents, beating the -17-cent estimate. Wow, sales of 44 million. Are you freaking kidding me, you guys? Holy crap. I'm not sure. I know our CEO, Dan, was trading this one, but holy crap, that is a 780% year-over-year change in revenue. 568% surprise. I'm going to have to use Sidekick to analyze that. That's freaking nuts. So this one is going to put in a power earnings gap, if I have ever seen one, you guys. Currently closed at 322 and it's at 384. So that means it's going to open right about here at the top of this range. Skipped above this. Right, it's going to be at, pretty much open at the top of this this base, if you will, right here. Literally right there at the top of it. So definitely want to keep an eye out for it. See what Sidekick has to say. Yeah, absolutely smashed EPS. Absolutely smashed revenue. I mean, this is what was reported. This is what was estimated in prior. ABCL could not have been much better. Still, Sidekick is giving it a hold. Here's why. Yeah, somebody said Karen won't like it still. Apparently, Sidekick still does not like ABCL. It says stunning Q4 beat reflects the lumpy milestone payment, not operational inflection. So I guess there's a milestone payment that caused that massive revenue number there. It says key value drivers are still over 18 months away. They do have a strong balance sheet, but clinical execution risk is still high. So it's saying wait for phase 1 out of 2 readout before increasing your conviction here. They have sufficient liquidity for 3+ years, it said. Suggest major milestone payment or partnership deal. Yeah, I can take a look at CRWD. Wow. So yeah, you guys, you know, honestly insane report here in ABCL, and the stock is absolutely loving it. It is up 21% in the after hours session. I'm curious if anyone out there is holding this, because congratulations. I didn't even realize they had $100 million quarter. I mean, this is such a wild company, the way they report such wildly different revenue numbers. Well, let's take a look at CrowdStrike CRWD. CrowdStrike has earnings coming up in March 3rd. We'll be live for that. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube so you guys can stick around for that. But first thing I notice here is relative performance is only at 8, which means it's underperforming 92% of the S&P 500. Obviously, the momentum is down here. If you are a momentum trader or a trend follower, this is not something you're going to want to buy into. But if you're looking to buy the dip, that is a completely different story. But at the same time, I'm not seeing any real meaningful recent support levels until all the way down here, give or take. So honestly, I'd probably personally wait, not financial advice, until like 320s. But I mean, if you buy here, you'd still just, I mean, that's potential 60% decline, or it could flip around and this could be the bottom. You never know. But I mean, revenue looks intact. I mean, the only thing holding this down, mostly, it looks like their EPS forward guidance is actually really bad. But it's really Claude, or just AI. I shouldn't say Claude, it's just AI. The stock absolutely tanked the other day, past few days, on some Claude news regarding cybersecurity. But let's see what Psychic has to say. But as long as that fear is in the air, you guys, cybersecurity will have some tough times until the narrative flips. So I'm asking Sidekick something here, saying take a look at my currently open CRWD chart. Let me know what you think technically and fundamentally. Downloading my chart, and I asked it, what do you think about this name for a multi-year hold? Is the AI narrative real? Somebody is asking about IONQ. I don't think IONQ even reports today. IONQ reports tomorrow after close, from what I am seeing, Dwight. So make sure you subscribe and tune in tomorrow. We'll take a look at IONQ tomorrow when they do go ahead and report. While Sidekick loads there, let me open another chart and just confirm that that is correct here. Yeah, IONQ tomorrow. Wow, look at that revenue growth on IONQ. These quantum names. Trading at an interesting level here on the weekly. Say it needs to hold that area for sure. But let's see what it has to say about CrowdStrike. Ton of stuff. Interesting. So the AI narrative. It says the AI narrative for CrowdStrike is double-edged because they themselves use AI for threat detection. But a negative is Anthropic's recent tool shows AI could commoditize parts of cybersecurity, which is, yeah, the exact narrative. So, it's, again, double-edged. Is this CrowdStrike going to be able to compete with Anthropic? Maybe. Or just maybe their business model won't be as profitable because of it. For a multi-year hold, you need conviction that the business will be stronger in 3 to 5 years. And here's an honest assessment from AI. It says this is not a slam dunk hold. The July 19th incident was July 19th. Said it was a credibility destroying event for a company whose entire value prop is reliability and trust. What was July 19th? Let's take a look at the chart. Looks like it happened on the weekend. What was this July 19th? So this is the critical issue. A content configuration update caused system crashes for Windows systems and was absolutely catastrophic for a cybersecurity company. Wow. Yeah, that is terrible. Several lawsuits, government inquiries ongoing, of course, reputational damage. So yeah, guys, that is not great. says growth will remain challenged for 12 to 24 months, 1 to 2 years, as they work through customer concessions and deal with competitive attacks and rebuild trust. But it's saying that there's better alternatives that exist in cybersecurity, including PanW and FTNT. So, yeah, PanW and FTNT, it's Psychic is saying potentially better names. But meanwhile, cybersecurity is just absolutely getting demolished. PanW is interesting here, though. See, it's trading at that obvious pivot level at 140 or so. So definitely keep an eye on those names. ENPH, all right. We'll do an ENPH analysis. Let's take a look at the chart first. Let's see if we need AI to go ahead and do that or not. ENPH shot up relative performance-wise and price-wise. They had a nice power earnings gap, which they actually went down and filled, which is really nice. Well, they didn't fill all of it, but they filled down to this pivot level. But yeah, they beat revenue expectations in their last quarter, but EPS and revenue year over year did not do well for ENPH. Yeah, I guess I can prompt a Psychic AI. Yep. Using Sidekick AI to go ahead and analyze Enphase Energy right now. As you can see on the weekly, it does seem to be turning around. The relative performance flipped incredibly quick here, all the way up above 83% now. Yeah, Christian is mentioning Rubric, ZS, I think that's Zscaler, as other cybersecurity names that are currently beat up. Absolutely. Tough time for a lot of sectors right now, thanks to AI. But Enphase, Sidekick is not giving a buy rating. It says, while valuation is depressed and the stock may bounce in the short term, the business faces structural challenges, subsidy expiration, tariffs on key components, negative cash flow, regulatory uncertainty. It says better opportunities exist elsewhere. So I mostly agree. I mean, unless this one starts really trending nicely, I mean, relative performance did pick up. They have a nice power earnings gap there. Let's see how the chats is looking. Let's see how the pair band is looking on the daily. So, from a trend following perspective, you could hop in for a long and set a stop maybe at the bottom of this gap or so, or wherever you think fits there. See the breakout buddy right there is interesting as well. It's above the 200-day SMA, which is good. Chats is really nice up at 91. So, from a trend following perspective, you can get in on this breakout, but obviously with any strategy, you're going to want to have an exit plan in place, specifically probably a trailing stop loss in case the narrative gets worse or doesn't play out like you expected. But yeah, you guys, it was a pretty in-depth analysis of all the companies that reported earnings today. If you haven't already, make sure you guys sign up for our free market newsletter. I'll drop the link down below in the chat right now. All you need to do is enter your email and you get free market updates sent to your guys' inbox every single Sunday. So be sure to check that out. We spend good amount of time writing it for you guys, put it together a really nice breakdown of the market every single week for free. At the very least, like the video and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow, you guys. Again, NVIDIA reports earnings tomorrow. Let's take a look at NVIDIA before we head off for the day. Relative performance is at 70. Chats has not been above, the 70 level either since it had an all-time high breakout over there. But I mean, it's really not trending at all. It's going completely sideways. But I'm curious, are you guys holding NVIDIA? What are your guys' thoughts on NVIDIA coming into earnings? They are reporting tomorrow. It's going to be massive. You're going to want to tune back in tomorrow at the same time. You go live 15 minutes before the bell rings. We're going to take a look at NVIDIA's report and analyze the numbers as they come out in real time. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. For anyone out there that hasn't yet, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to tune in tomorrow, 15 minutes before the stock market closes. It is 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a massive catalyst for NVIDIA that you're not going to want to miss. All right, everybody, I will see you tomorrow. Peace.